Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Jeff Culbert, Schooley's Mountain Chiropractic Center, and today I want to spend a couple of moments talking to you specifically about sleep. And I got to tell you, sleep is one of those health components that most people overlook altogether. It is probably the thing that most people will tend to say, I can sacrifice some sleep to get this, that, or the other thing done. I'm watching TV. I don't need to go to sleep right now. I'm sitting here playing on my cell phone, okay? I'm playing a video game. I'm online with a bunch of friends playing a game right now. I don't need to go to sleep right now, but sleep is one of those components that we have to pay attention to. Every time that I speak to a patient that's new, or during a healthcare class or my stress reduction class, we talk about the importance of sleep and why sleep is so important. So let me give you a little bit of a story. Back in the mid-1980s, there was a study that was done with the University of Wisconsin football team. And what they ended up doing was they took a bunch of chiropractors, and the chiropractors came into the locker room. And for those people that were going to be definitely playing first string, they took those players and they lied them down on a table, and every chiropractor that was there took a look at each player and noted what were the subluxations, those bones out of place, whether it was in the knee, whether it was in the pelvis, whether it was in the back and the neck or the shoulder. They noted where subluxation was in each of those players. Then they let those players go out and play the game. And then when the game was over, they took the same players that they had checked pre-game and they had them lay down on the table and they rechecked to see what were the subluxations that were present post-game. Now, playing 60 minutes of football and getting beaten up like crazy, those players had a numerous amount more subluxations than they did pre-game. There was not one adjustment that was given to any one of those players. They were given a simple instruction. That was go back to your dorm, get a really good night's sleep. We'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. The players went back to their dorms, they got a great night's sleep, and then they came back in at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning, and the chiropractors then noted again what was the outcome of just a good night's sleep on that body. And what they found with the players, that was 90% of the subluxations that were created during the physical trauma of the game were eliminated because of, one, a good night's sleep. And why is that? Because inherently, your body is supposed to be a self-healing and a self-regulating machine so long as there's no interference to the process of healing. And we get the biggest portion of our healing ability comes when we are resting. And our greatest amount of rest is when we're sleeping. And what happens when we sleep? We produce different hormones. We produce some growth hormone. Now, as you get past puberty, and you're technically through your major growth spurt as an adolescent, your body still produces a little bit of growth hormone each and every night when you sleep. And the primary focus of that is not for growth and putting on a lot of muscle mass and strength. It is simply for tissue healing and repair. You really don't want to rob yourself of quality and quantity of sleep. You want to try to fight for it every chance that you can get. And there's a couple of things that I also want you to know about sleep. That roughly about 100 years ago, the average individual would get around 9 hours and 15 minutes of sleep per night. Today, in our current state of affairs, we only get about 6 hours and 30 minutes. So we are now robbing ourselves of at least 2 hours and 45 minutes of sleep that is primed for us to allow our bodies to heal and repair, our minds to calm down, our brains to be able to focus and absorb information like sponges and process it and organize it. So if you ever wondered why my body doesn't want to heal, why I get confused about certain things, why I can't remember things, why I constantly go around in a mental fog, it could be very simple. You need to check in and see how much sleep am I currently getting versus how much sleep should I be getting. Now, 100 years ago, we were getting 9 hours and 15 minutes. According to the National Sleep Institute, you need a minimum of 8 hours and 15 minutes of sleep a night. And in some studies, they report as much as 9 to 11 hours of sleep. They took people and put them in a biosphere type of an environment. And for those people that were sleep deprived, what they found, when you didn't know whether it was day or night, you had no idea what time it was, you were not connected to any part of the outside world, so you could not tell whether it was day or night, the average sleep deprived person would sleep between 12 and 16 hours a day until their sleep debt was repaid. And all debt, whether it's an oxygen debt, a financial debt, or a sleep debt, always needs to be repaid. So one of the things that you can try to do is try to carve out just a little bit more time to sleep every day. I'm not going to say go from 6.5 hours to 9 hours right now. You'll drive yourself absolutely crazy. But you have to start reprioritizing your day. The average individual right now in the United States is on their devices, whether that's laptop, whether that's iPad, whether that's an iPhone or an Android phone or just a computer or some kind of video game. They're on their devices roughly 51 hours a week. So when you divide that by 7 days, that is a little over 7 hours a day that you're on your devices. Now, God gave us a 24-hour day, so we're allowed to work 8 hours, sleep 8 hours, and get everything else we need to get done in the world in another 8 hours. But if we're using that much time, almost a full 8 hours every day on our devices, when do we have time to sleep? When do we truly have time to work and work efficiently? And when do we have time to get everything else done in our day that we need to get done? We really don't. So most people will sacrifice their sleep to play their games, to stay on their devices, to still get stuff done, and then go to work. So please try to prioritize your day that sleep has to be important. Again, according to the National Sleep Institute, as little as 5 hours of sleep for 5 days in a row puts you into a pre-diabetic state. And Alzheimer's has been known as diabetes of the brain. So if we get into a pre-diabetic state with only 5 days of 5 hours of sleep, it is incumbent upon us to start to carve out in our days ways that we can get more sleep. So how can we do that? Pay attention to what your body's doing. I know from going to the Sleep Institute and going through their sleep protocol that there's certain things that are going to be happening with your body when you're getting ready to go to sleep. And the first thing you're going to notice when it's 8 or 9 or 10 o'clock at night, you're going to start to notice first that you're going to catch a little bit of a chill. And that chill is your thyroid calming down for the day. And your body core temperature will drop 1 to 2 degrees. So you catch a chill. Once you notice that you've caught that little chill, you have literally about 15 to 30 minutes to go upstairs, get out of your clothes, get changed, go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, wash your face, get in your pajamas, and get into bed, and then start the process of closing your eyes and letting your body calm down and hopefully be to sleep within that 30-minute time frame. If you miss that time frame, you're going to mess up your REM cycles of sleep, and you're not going to be getting the quality, let alone the quantity of sleep that you need. So please pay attention when you notice that chill. 15 to 30 minutes, try to make sure you're in bed. The other thing, you want that room to be as cool as you can possibly tolerate. The ideal body temperature, or the ideal temperature for the room rather, should be between 68 and 72 degrees. So find out what is your ideal temperature, a little bit on the cool side, okay? It's going to help you get into a better night's sleep. The other thing you want to pay attention to, it should be a dark room, okay? Study by Robert Cooper found that the average individual, when they're sleeping, will turn and look at that little clock that glows digitally, not 2, 3, or 4 times, which most people assume they're doing, but as many as 125 times a night. You'll just kind of look inadvertently at that clock. And because you're more subconsciously doing it, you don't even know and realize that you're getting up and turning and looking at that clock. Get a wind-up clock, okay, and just put it off on the side of the room. If you need to set the alarm, but go to sleep and don't be looking at a digital clock. Also, try not to fall asleep with the TV on. The TV is nothing but a distraction. It's low level, it's subconscious news, typically bad news coming at you when you're falling asleep, and you don't want to be thinking that into your subconscious as the day is going on. Try to be in a really good posture when you're sleeping. Again, the ideal posture that I tend to recommend to my patients is sleep on your back. 2 pillows underneath your knees and a nice comfortable pillow with curves built in it to support the curve in your neck. If you're not comfortable on your back because you snore and your spouse keeps hitting you all night long, well then the next best thing is to turn to your side. But if you're on your side, you got to make sure you got a pillow between your legs. You also have to make sure that the pillow fits between your shoulder and your head, so your head stays neutral or in line with your belly button. There's no drooping of the head to the side or cocking it up too far, because that's going to pinch and irritate your neck. You want to try to make sure that not only the posture is good, but that the overall ambience in the environment is going on as well. If you have a spouse that snores, okay, my belief is that if your spouse is asleep, you leave them sleeping, and if you got to go to a different room, you go to a different room so that you can sleep. So watch and monitor that as well. To me, again, you need to monitor your sleep. I use an Oura ring, I use my Fitbit band, and again, it will let me know how much sleep did I get. Not only that, it'll break it down into how much REM sleep or dream sleep did I get. Most importantly, it'll also let me know how much deep sleep did we get. The more deep sleep, the better things are going to be for you in terms of your body healing and repairing with the growth hormone release. Try to keep your diet clean at least for 3 or 4 hours before you go to bed. No caffeine, no alcohol, because those things are ultimately, they stimulate, then they depress, and again, it throws off with the sugar, breaks the sugar down, stores it as fat. You don't want to be gaining calories just because you're sleeping. So those are just few of the tricks that you can pay attention to when you are trying to get to sleep. To me, sleep is probably one of the most important things you can pay attention to. Without it, you seriously rob your body's ability of its best chances to heal in the long run. So hope that you found this information useful and interesting, and that you'll hit like and subscribe for any future videos, as well as if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to visit our website, smcc4u.com. You can go ahead and shoot me an email there, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we possibly can. In the meantime, you guys have a great day, and most importantly, have a good night's sleep. Thank you very much.